Welcome everyone, this is Evelyn. I have a few of my messages of the day to bring to you. I have a bunch of old ones that I haven't given to you yet, so I'm just going to bring one from the 15th and then the more recent ones I'm going to bring to you as well. We're going to do at least 3 of them, maybe 4 if I have time. This first one is from tax day, April 15th. And let's go ahead and first pull a card. We're going to pull a card from the Fortune Oracle to set the tone for these energies right now. And perhaps why I'm bringing up the April 15th read today. Why that needs to be brought forward to today. Okay, and today is April 21st. It's 234, shut the door. I think we started at 233, which is 233, the Christ vibration, the unity consciousness. 234, shut the door. Any doors that you need to close, shut them. Let's see what comes up from Fortune's Oracle for you guys today. And this one's just popping up to the bottom of the deck. Love. Love surrounds all your connections. Move forward positively in all areas of your life. And it's number 17, which is the star. So dreams coming true. And then we also have this card coming up. And the wish. 35 is the wounded warrior. So perhaps surrendering for your wishes to come true. As the heart is glowing, your heart's desire is ready to come true. So 2 very beautiful energies there coming up for you guys. The underlying energy is the Fool and number 12, which is the Hanging Man. Have the courage to embrace change, take risks, and be adventurous is the underlying energy. And again, 12, the Hangman is about being wise and seeing new perspectives. So let's bring these over a little bit. All right, so the underlying energies for your reads today. And let's get right into this first message. So this was done, like I said, April 15th, tax day. And here is the read on the left. For those of you not familiar, is the underlying energies from each deck. I usually pull 3 cards from each deck, and then whatever other cards want to come out brings up a number for numerology, but I also use those energies in the message as well, as you can see. Okay, so we have the Metatron deck up here. We have the Fortune Oracle, which I just used. We have the Wild Unknown Guidebook here. And we have the Dream, is it Shaman Dreams? The Tarot of Dreams. And then we have the half deck of Rider-Waite Mini down here. Not the mini deck, but half of the deck. It just has all the characters in it to be more specific about the characters coming up. So let me just pull it up a little bit so you can see better. Okay, so Metatron at the top, Fortune Oracle, Wild Unknown, Tarot of Dreams, and then the half deck of Rider-Waite. So this one was pulled from 944 to 948. 44 is the 5 of Cups, excuse me, the 4 of Cups, then 5, 6, 7, and 8 of Cups, which the 48 is walking away and within. The numbers at the end of each deck were 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, and also came up as 1, 2, 7, 6, 1, 5. And 615 is Nashville, so that came up. And remember the 1 is 2 dots and an arc between. So they also come up as colons, kind of like a Morse code. So this is the way those 2 numbers were coming up, like colon Q, colon, colon Q, okay? So that's where I'm getting that from when you hear me talk about that. And the 7 often comes up as the boomerang, or the old way of writing gamma. And then the spiral of the 6 and the G, and then the 15 of the colon and the 5, which also can be an S. And again, Nashville coming up. So 2 hanging out in a leap of faith, the Divine Masculine, Divine Feminine, and the Chariot. So 615 comes up, so June 15th could be significant. That's definitely significant in my life. It's my brother's birthday, but a date for other reasons as well. The Lovers and the Devil is 6 and 15, the same card in light and dark, of the leap to passion or to flame. The Hanging Man's justice with the higher self. The Divine Masculine, Divine Feminine alignment of 2 regarding the Queen's Code with Morris between. And maybe someone has a cat that's getting in between them. Regarding the Queen's Gamma Ray Boomerang, Her secret weapon spiraling regarding the sine wave, the Queen's wave. Say it soft and it's almost like praying. Sophia, which is Sophie in human connection. Again, phi is expanding, contracting, or staying in the middle, reflecting instead. So we start here at 958, which is the Hermit and the Four of Swords. The underlying energy is the 28 of Karma. And double diamond grid, untying the knots of two stars working together. The supernova glare of Bethlehem, the tree of life, the three keys, the gamma waves, and the boomerangs that resonate throughout. It's like the Reiki waves were coming up. I don't know if you've ever seen that Melchizedek. There was a Melchizedek video about the Reiki waves that go through your brain in the different directions. The bar of light that goes through the unicorn out the back of the head, the one that goes through the eye, the third eye out the back of the head, the one that goes straight into your crown down, and then the one that goes side to side from temple to temple, basically, all through your third eye or your pineal. But that image was coming up of those bars because within the mind aren't the bars of light, but actually the Reiki waves. And I was getting this picture like a cape top. I mean, here it looks like an army helmet, but I was getting the energy of like a cake cover over it, and then that image of the light waves going through the brain from Melchizedek. And also it's like the energy of being at the beauty parlor, right? Getting your hair dried. So just remember that image because it will come up again. But again, the energy of the Reiki waves and the arcs connecting in the pineal. And yesterday that cake cover had come up, or excuse me, the day before I did this, that cake cover had come up as well. And also the energy of Frankenstein and electroshock therapy, like shocking, like shocking the heart back to life, only shocking the brain back to life. That Frankenstein energy, and also the old way, you know, where people always said that person's crazy because they have tin foil on their head trying to connect with ETs. That energy is coming up as well. The digamma Rankin ray was coming up, or ray NK, to copulate in cup. And maybe someone is trying to get pregnant through artificial means. The rock, the stone, the cup, or the path or employee ID number coming up here as well. Double gamma rays reach the crown to pour into the cup, the vault, the pineal gland. Capsize, capture, the cherry on top, and the orb all came up there with the definitions, and the arrival of the kundalini, and then you late. The other definitions came up here were to copulate, where cop was coming up, and cop, of course, is a police officer, but it's also to capture, seized by, the crown, the spider, top, and the orb, or round object. The basket, the summit, the vault, the vessel, strike, hit, blow, venom head, and again referencing the kundalini rising to the crown, rising to the occasion, ball of thread on the spindle, braid, friend, pal, foam, froth, capsize, pour out, tip at, and hoe regarding the tool. And again, this energy of the cherry on top in arriving to the crown regarding your kundalini. Or to raise, pour a latte. U-lot, U-L-A-T, also is vessel, vein, tendon, larva, the caterpillar, news, scar, cicatrix, or a scar, something news, some news that gets you home, that keeps you going. Again, there's this reference of taking a break, a coffee break, with the two rays or the two twins. Some news or something new that gets you home, right? Keeps you occupied until you get to the top. Keeps you going when you're injured and doesn't let you forget where you've been. The double diamond marriage, the twin flame awakening, attracting unconditional love, the peacock and the knight of wands reversed. and the Knight of Pentacles, or Peacock and the Knight of Pentacles in suspended animation, frozen in time. And there were some other energies in one of the other reads talking about January when hell froze over. You know, someone always threatens, you know, that'll happen when hell freezes over. And then in January, hell freezes over. So there's a message there for someone. 28, 20, 32, 25, and 67 as the twin flame wake-up call, trumpeting of the journey of two knights, the bad cop and the good cop meeting at the heart, the grounder and the flyer catching a fly ball, reaching the summit and pouring out or captured, the vault and the vessel, the baby in the basket, so there's a Moses reference there, the cake with the cover on top, or the tin foil hat to connect with outer space or source at 10:27, the Wheel of Fortune and the Ace of Wands, or the flame that's destined. Cake is a ball-shaped object, a donut, it's also a head of cabbage, and that reminded me of when food goes bad. So I don't know how many of you have watched the dinosaurs episodes, which was such a great show. But one of the episodes was when food goes bad because the baby was left home and told not to go into the refrigerator. I think that was the story. And of course the baby goes into the refrigerator, but the food, you know, was bad. So it was a really cute episode, but that came up. So this energy of cake and the donut, the walnut, the head of cabbage, a block of any dense materials, which could reference us. A piece of cake may be easy, but what about the whole kit and caboodle? A multi-shot of fireworks, assembly launched by a single fuse. Again, this is referencing fireworks that go off in a bunch, but with one single fuse. A communion river to make dense or more edible. A helmet or cover to allow high vibe communication with lower density beings, i.e. the crazy person with the tinfoil hat antenna. The beauty parlor, and let them eat cake to raise their vibration and consume it too. At 10:35, the destined wounded warrior to surrender. The princess and the pea or bean, which was the test of sensitivity, and can she feel or be affected by the pea or bean under multiple mattresses that she would sleep on, to prove that she is indeed a princess and sensitive. And then 10:38, which references the princess, and 38, which is the Queen of Cups, but very princess energies. The underlying energy of 38, remember 38 because it'll come up very significantly in the current reads. The Queen of Cups chakra light body is activated for the 30 of the home in union with silver warrior of light, the sword in the stone, the lady of the lake, and the man in the moon. In the 4, which is L and 1, the lambda leap, lamb to father, leap in letting go, time for release. A tea leaf or two. Oh, we'll have to pull a tea leaf. For the 28 of the twin flames unraveling, the Queen of Cups and the Emperor's union, home with twin flame, having tea. And again, tea can reference the top dog, time out. And let's go ahead. And I was just seeing throne and rainbows at the bottom of the tea leaves here. So I was being guided to pull some tea leaves here. So we have dark woman here, dealing or relationship with a woman with dark complexion or hair. We also have, and I was throwing out the baby with the bath water, but money path. A path with money is waiting for you to find it. So again, don't throw the baby out with the bath water. So we have dark woman and your money path, and the bottom of the deck is the dark man. Very interesting. Dealings or relationship with a man with dark complexion or hair. All right, we'll see if that comes up again. I have the other half of the deck we'll pull from. So the tea leaves and the underlying energy with lightning here to control anger, or you'll be sorry, so be careful about getting triggered. The boot and the cane, and they both represent similar things, right? Because a boot can be something that you wear when you've hurt your leg, and of course a cane when you can't walk properly. And an increased effort for health goals here with the vulture, the man, the lion, the lobster, and June. Part bird, part man, part cat, and moon and June. Lyran cakes up in June. So again, becoming denser in June. And there's a lot of reference. Last night I'd watched Elena Danan's video on the Altians coming in, which was beautiful. A beautiful message from them. Really high vibrational. I will bring you some of that information today, but I would advise you to go back and listen to it because you will be activated by it. The energy of the lobster and crustaceans were also coming up. The bird, the cat, the crustacean, and again, cake has crust, and the man and the moon in June. So Lyran cakes up in June. Tasty cakes came up here at 10:55. The truth of that high vibration and the energy of things with E, like taste E, and E, capital E is 1 equal and congruent to, and the lowercase e is the egg cracked open. And why do birds suddenly appear every time you're near? Just like me, they long to be close to you. As Jack and the Beanstalk, a bean counter, or taxman, or Jack Matthews came up, which I looked up the name, and it came up as a Nashville videographer, as Nashville 615 already came up. So 6:15, Jack and Rose, of titanic proportion, Jack in the Box, and Blue Jay, or JR, and Jack saying hello. And there's definitely a message, a personal message that I gave to someone from that when that came up. The first card out here is the 37 of the King of Cups, who needs to detach from drama and look up. A lot of Scorpio energies coming up there, and healing. And the 12 of the Hanging Man at 11:02, which is justice and alignment of the divine feminine or higher self, or the 2. So the Hanging Man, seeing new perspectives with an open book. Pages 20. So I just opened, I think I opened this book because it was closest to me, which is from my Zodiac deck. So maybe I'm called to use that to tell you what energies are coming up. So this deck just has the elements, the planets, and the signs. So you'll pull that in a second. But when I opened it here, it came up to page 26 to 27, which is the Page of Wands and the Ace of Wands. The elements came up Earth, Wind, and Fire, which the one missing was water. And page 26 was Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto, the outer limits, and the ether, the collective planets, and Black Planet X was also coming up. So I looked up NASA, the Black Planet X, and September 14th, 17 from NASA.gov, the pitch black planet outside of our solar system that eats light rather than reflecting it back into space, able to trap at least 94% of visible starlight falling into its atmosphere. And it's called WASP 12b, WASP-12b, the day side anyway. Hot Jupiter class, gigantic gaseous planet, orbits close to host star, so it's very close to its sun, and heated to extremes, 4,600 degrees Fahrenheit, absorbs light by hydrogen atoms and converted to heat energy. The night side is only 2,600 degrees, allows vapor, hazes, and clouds to form, where on the other side it doesn't because it's too hot. And again, Secret in Show last night came up in the sidebar there. And Madison and Ella came up. At 11:26 of Justice and the Page of Wands again, and 2026 is coming up as very significant over and over again. The black planet was first discovered 2008 in Auriga constellation, which then my dad's name Constantine was coming up. And as soon as I got Constantine, the acronym Cosmic Origins Spectrograph came up in the explanation of this constellation, which is COS, which is my father's nickname, Cos. revealed the planet could be downsizing, material spilling onto the star. And then Adam Sandler came up, whose spouse is Jackie and parents Judy and Stanley, which had come up for me earlier. Adam Sandler is 9966, and so the 99 gate coming up here, and then the 66 is the Queen of Pentacles, and of course 19 is the Sun, which equals 40, which is the Page of Cups. So Adam Sandler's productions are, of course, Happy Madison Productions, so Madison was coming up again. It was founded in 1999, so right before the millennium, and that happened to be 23 years ago, and this year is 23, the King of Wands, and 50 coming up. So 40 was his life lesson number, and then 50 coming up here, the energy of the Page of Cups and the 10 of Cups, right, the happy family. And when I looked up Adam Sandler, his movies, Grown Ups had done the best as far as sales. It was something like 271 million, something like that. So tea leaves and open book tests, top downs, and the Queen of Cups home with the Emperor, Twin Flame, and King of Cups. The Hanging Man hanging out in energetic exchange, or the arrows of love, arcing with ancestors, rolling on in, with appreciation and healing, just waiting to be asked. So you have to ask to get assistance because they're not allowed to interfere with free will. So one card came up at the end here, 29, which was the Blue Madonna, present and aligned with gifts, a serious alignment through September, and of course Lionsgate is serious alignment, and the path of the King of Cups, awakening to energetic exchange with the Blue Madonna, or Sirius Mother. The Emperor fell to dance with 37, or 3 keys. Shea Tree, or again the tree house, the tree of life. The 12 and the 34, which is the Hanging Man and the energetic exchange, or 1, 2, 3, 4, shut the door, which you got in the beginning of your message. Or book and be present to mother or son. In the tree house, the clubhouse, or the bat cave, waiting for their ship to come in. And then Spanky and the gang had come up multiple times in some of these reads. So at 1154 of Justice alignment and the Page of Swords, which can be Libra energy or Gemini as Mercury there, the underlying energy of 24 with the Queen of Wands and patience to slow down, change your attitude, and clear your mind. With 19, luck with strength and optimism about an opportunity ahead, and 20 of marriage, attracting emotional fulfillment and unconditional love. As the Queen of Wands, perhaps Leo or Aquarius, or on that axis prior to 21, which is Pisces and Virgo axis, after Aries, 7-1, 25 was coming up. So July through January 25th, and then January is coming up is when hell freezes over. So at 1157, Justice and the 3 of Swords, with the 5 of celebrations and the 16 of the Lion, the 2 of the Angel, ready for new things, and excitement, gifts, and harness loyal protection of the Lion energy and charge ahead magnificently with angelic guidance on your journey. Freedom in the roar, or yawn. And remember, when you yawn, that's you relaxing into your surrender. Of epiphanies, the sudden events, the sudden resonance with the higher self and the angelic realms. So then all the cards coming up in a row, 205 came up, which is Alabama and Georgia. And Alabama had just come up in conversation as well at that time. The energy of the wake-up call, and this energy of the tower, like the pi symbol of 2 T's, like temper tantrum, with an S on one side and the reflection of the S on the other, which is 5 and 2, with pi in the middle, sharing equally. And the 5 and the 2 is also the Hierophant and the High Priestess. The tower inside with the 52 of Lady Liberty, the Queen of Swords, the Hierophant and High Priestess ready to blow up. with 27 and 13, the Ace of Wands and Dark Knight in transition, the proposal of goals, an opportunity to hook up and progress in a positive way. And a lot of gold energy here, both rings and coins, with 2 flames in transition, moving forward, not letting anyone stand in their way, not accepting blocks, but allowing them to make my day, as the Blue Madonna is present and aligned with gifts and holding space, or gold mine of tricks up her sleeve with Bellatrix. Mother passing on her tricks in transition of Ella and Beetlejuice in 3 keys, voila. Be, tell, and juice. Juice is G-E and use, so energy to use. Be, cry 3 times and give space, where give space is G-S, which was coming up as half, to oil or anoint. I've pace, the holy place of longing or offering, and acing that. And EC were coming up right there. ECE and then EC, which actually my maiden name initials are EC. 1 equal and congruent to the arc, where ECE means eternal, lifetime, durable, a queen of female beauty, and as well the ache, guilt, and sin. And then Happy Madison was coming up. And that can be son of Maddie. So thought to be a sin to receive her tricks, remember Bellatrix, her magic, her harvest. And Hercules at 12:18, the hanging man and the moon, where Beetle and Bella and Sirius Mother, all part of the Winter Triangle, the B&B and female chef. BB was also coming up, and the bridge baby was coming up, and again throwing the baby out with the bathwater to not do that. But BB as bridge baby, Sam carries on chest in artificial womb. So this was coming up in shoot, I'm trying to think of this series. Sam is the boy with autism in the show. But anyway, there's one part where he's carrying a child on his chest in an artificial womb. I think I'm thinking of the right show. But anyway, able to see BTs or supernatural enemies, beached things in Death Stranding, allowing them to bridge here and there. BB Buell, who's Liv's groupie mom, and BB King also coming up, father to 15. He lost both his mom and infant brother at a very young age, so it was, I guess for BB King it was very important for him to have a large family. So then Bibi Netanyahu also came up, his father Ben Zion. He was born 49, and I actually grew up down the street from the Netanyahus. The brothers used to babysit for us from time to time. But on April 10, 23, they had made vows to restore security as violence surges. In Netanyahu, Ahu was coming up as skin, dog to bee, mouth, stone platform under statue, altar to heap up, to live, to grow, and then Liv Tyler was coming up again. To grow, I, me, my, to care for, ash and ashes, a glade to dry, burn, and gazelles, goitered gazelles, net any stone platform of bright light, gazelles, altar, to live and grow, to dry and burn, the dog's mouth and skin, to care for self, to capture the altar, or capture a Yahoo. And I was getting the tagline for Yahoo. So we have at 12:36 the hanging man and Atlas, which is the map of the world, the weight of the world, the underlying energy of the golden egg after the elephant made it through the crossroads, through the intersection, the quantum entanglement. with flame in trunk and egg in nest, the oyster with their feelers out, and the peacock watching the egg crack, and see it all happen. As the elephant arrives just in the nick of time, nick at night, heart and womb, very large creature, with fire up their nose, and broken tusk, big ears to hear you with, my dear. After clearing the way on a long journey home, and what a long strange trip it's been, the needle in the haystack and crust, watching the whole process close up, 1 in a million, golden egacy, instead of legacy, coming up as the golden egacy, or the golden ego, at the Y in the road, of eager sea serpent, SS peacock, and the gospel of Goseg. It's coming up as the opposite way around. So instead of gospel of Gosep, like kind of Giuseppe, but gospel of Gosep of the princess and the pea, who rinses after every meal. So at 103, the magician and the empress with space between, or the divine masculine and the mother with space between. The first card out here is the octopus, the otter, and the turtle. An overactive mind and all thumbs, needing boundaries or a fence put up, with peacock being peak and ock, or peak, okay? As the octo opus of the life's dance, see octopus's opus, or their life's work, and the curious otter could get dragged down by the turtle in the dark, or make their way across the path, giving children more free rein, but it must be kept in check, as curiosity killed the cat, and perhaps now somebody's overprotective. And then shark attack of Spidey's web, using all 8 legs to stand their ground, or 0 point field, as a very well-grounded buffalo here, and Buffalo, New York also coming up, as the black egg or black sheep of the family, with the truth of the wounding on their head, or else concussions, the sudden events or crowning moments, with fish out of water or brain on fire, spider threatened or buffalo under attack, as the truth can wound deeply and cause the brain to have a meltdown, or nightmares from watching Jaws. So the wounding from watching the movie Jaws, which all of us, I'm sure, had nightmares about that. The movie The Birds and Willard, that was a big one. All caused a lot of nightmares for kids. The shark to Spidey's web is as speaking the truth at an event or conference, attacked on the web, or at a live event, not knowing the answer. Grid work on the web, grounding work at the event, as the elk is a great guy unless they're not eating right, and then turns into a bear of a hothead and totally ungrounded, or gets all choked up in front of a crowd, or children watching animals attack each other online and going back into their shell because now they're terrified after seeing animals kill each other. A feeding frenzy, the truth of having elk's head on a platter. And then Richard Dreyfuss was coming up from Jaws, but Dreyfuss was also coming up with Fez, and then Fez from that show was coming up. And his birthday is 10/29/47. And this is actually Richard Dreyfuss, not Fez. And he comes up as the tax man because he's Scorpio. And then Jaws coming up, won't give up until he catches them. And again, what is the tax? On your head, basically. What are the nightmares you're still having? And here is this in the movie, is a man who can't stop until he gets this shark. This is the personal war within him. Payback's a bitch at 144. The underlying energy of the Palace of Wands reversed. After the 10 of Swords upright, of mayhem and mutiny of Leo, that came up in Leo's reading, as the 8 of Pentacles working like an assembly line, as I'm losing my voice again, with Scorpio and Leo. With the Page of Pentacles reversed, or unable to manifest, the Nine of Cups reversed, unhappy with themselves, not getting their wish, or the Page of Pentacles reversed and the Knight of Wands reversed, both dissatisfied kids who keep interrupting his work or rebelling to get their attention. After the Queen of Swords reversed is taken down by the Knight of Swords upright in a painful ending or trying to end their own pain of 9/11, or a house that went up in flames, with an insurance inspection after, or valuable one by one of property with no value, or the Page of Pentacles reversed and the Knight of Wands reversed, losing that which is irreplaceable but perhaps has no value, or watching endless love. The first card out here is Moon and the Hounds of Hell, as hallowed ground is disturbed and the chariot is moving forward at full force with the High Priestess. Cancer, Pisces, or Virgo, and curious little lion, or Scorpio vetted or passed the test, cleared with Hermit's inspection. With Scorpio or Taurus free to dance their dance of all arms, legs, or thumbs on their way in June for justice, alignment, or balance. 2 dogs at the falls and bats out of hell released as the High Priestess goes into the dark with the dark, as a child is born with a rebel yell, and the Hermit forecasting a big chill. As the 7 of Cups synchronicities, choices is in heaven in their eyes, with Cancer, Pisces, and Scorpio here, all the water signs, and a flood in after the Knight of Wands reverse palace went down. In an Atlas moment, in the Ace of Pentacles offered to help, the Page of Wands, who may be up to something, with the Ace of Wands reversed, uninspired, to recover, with or from the Empress reversed, or fallen abundance, or new mother, with Aries child hanging out, and that could be a new mother with their baby. Perhaps the baby is crying a lot. Pisces or Capricorn doing handstands, or Pisces or Capricorn with Taurus in their chart at 216, the Divine Feminine, Higher Self, and the Tower event, or Aries strong and childlike, uninspired to go to work or get up, or recover with Taurus reversed, as Pisces or Cappy may be doing well, grounded after an ungrounding event. The underlying energy of the 2 of Cups, Knight of Wands, and the King of Pentacles, as partners receive a delivery, or the cavalry from the King of Pentacles, setting kids or soulmate free, or Aries and Pisces or Virgo, or free from the Queen of Wands and High Priestess sisters, or the Queen of Wands dealing with the Emperor and silent partner, or regarding the Emperor's legacy. Transition and Dark Night to the King of Swords and Page of Cups. And again, my voice is going again. And here we're dealing with the Emperor. So I don't know if that's a Leo or a Scorpio, but that's what was coming up before. Or it could just be fixed signs. As as soon as I said fixed signs, like I couldn't even swallow. So fixed signs are probably having a hard time getting words out, or speaking their truth. As we have Aries and Scorpio here, the King of Swords and independent kids, the Page of Cups and the Queen of Cups, and the 9 of Pentacles independent between them, and the Magician manifesting lovers to travel and serve with, or Virgo and Gemini traveling with Gemini and or Cancer, or the Magician and the Warrior, lovers serving the world together, or driving it home, or double Gemini coming in, or judge and jury there, with the 9 of Pentacles helping the judge, or to bring justice with Hermit advisor, or court clerk, or civil servant, or marriage of Libra and Virgo with the King of Wands as a witness here. At 246 of the Divine Feminine or Higher Self, and the 46 of the Innocent Children, the wounded warriors guarded about options or an offer, a choice to make, perhaps unsure and stressed or unable to make a decision, or needs to sleep on it. Or the 9 of Wands and the 9 of Swords, with the twin flames feeling pressured or upset about a judgment, court, or plea bargain, or haggling. Again, Libra and Virgo and the King of Wands all fired up and defensive on waiting for one who may be on the fence or worried about getting fired or hurt on the job at 252, Divine Feminine, and the Queen of Swords. So the King of Cups receives a message to reach out to the Queen of Swords to satisfy the Empress and the Page of Wands, or see how a new mother is. The Page of Wands is tempted by the Page of Pentacles, perhaps Capricorn, or an opportunity invite to complete or circle around to the Queen of Pentacles, a little nudge to secure delivery. The King of Cups, the Knight of Cups, and the Nine of Cups, so all this cup or water energy, and then the Page of Swords, Queen of Swords, and Knight of Swords of all this air energy, along with the Empress, the Page of Pentacles, and the Queen of Pentacles, which is earth energy, and then the Page of Wands, who's on their own. So there's like these three families, and then the Page of Wands. And that could be like going on a trip where someone's family didn't show up, and now they can't go, because that came up in an episode of something this week. So that was the first read. So now we're going to go back to the present energies. But I'm going to probably have to do 3 more reads, because I have to do the 18th, the 19th and the 20th. But I want to do today's too. If not, I'll do today's tomorrow. All right, so from the 19th, we'll start from there. I just have to get the picture up for you. All right, this should be the right one. But is it? Nope. Maybe that one is. Yep. So this is the next read that comes up on the 19th. We're going to do 19th, 20th, 21st. If I don't get to the 21st today, I'll do it tomorrow. So this one has the Fortune Oracle at the top, and then the Shaman Dreams deck, the mixed Lenormand Reverie and Kipper deck, and then the Wild Unknown Animal Guidebook, and then my half deck of Rider-Waite. So let's bring that up so you can see the cards a little bit better. Okay, so all the setups are the same. Underlying energy, 3 cards pulled, and then the cards to count or additional cards to use in the message, okay? So again, this is from the 19th, and they were dealt 1019 to 1024. The 19 is the Sun, and 10 is the Wheel of Fortune, so destiny or high vibration, along with the Sun, and then 22, which is the Fool and the Leap of Faith, the 23 and 24 of the King of Wands and Queen of Wands. So the cards at the end came up as 1122 and 4432, and the messages of justice for the Fool, alignment on the journey and a leap of faith, Hercules' journey of good news and honor, her harvest, hand to heart, 4th finger to 2nd finger source. So again, it's going from the ring finger of the human to the pointer finger of source. The 4th finger disarmed source direct to point out the chakra system. The lambda leap back to the queen. He must go through the father to get to her. So I looked up in Gematria 1122. Shelves are cleared. Rapture comes in the morning. Alive, capital T, shirt. And then Yahweh, so Y-A-H-V-E-H. And then 44 billion came up. Under 4432, Jesus, I do not have anything to live for and then find something to die for. I would like to use some of my God points to put this Rubik's Cube back together. So again, this puzzle. Also this energy of 1 + 1 is 2, and then another 1 + 1 is 2, like the feminine and the masculine, lead to 2 as 1, which leads to 2. The underlying energy here starts out at 1038, and again, the Queen of Cups. This is going to be a theme from now on for the rest of the reads today. The 10 of Destiny and High Vibration, and the 38 of the Queen of Cups. The underlying energy of the 34 of Unity Consciousness. The 7 of Message, the Panther, Happiness, and Clouds, which are representing a temporary problem here. The energetic exchange, or arrows of love, radiating and attracting great love here for you. As the message, the key, and the boomerang return to sender, as soon as it's opened, confirmed message received. Triggering the panther, or the panther that reacts to their happiness, where clouds are only temporary problems for them, and the happiness card is like a flock of birds flying that I just posted that morning, and which I posted, I think, on my last read, with clouds revealing the sun. Oh no, I'll have to post that one for you at 10:46. So Destiny, the Wheel of Fortune, and the Six of Cups and it was right at that moment I picked up my coffee cup, which tapped on the table, which then alerted Teddy to come out from where he was and kind of do a low woof out the window. He doesn't usually bark. He barks when he's playing, but he doesn't bark at the front window at strangers. But he heard something strange, so he did his woof, woof, just really low. He was defending his territory to the world. The little man on guard, wanting to take on a more manly role. So at 10:48 is the Wheel of Fortune and the Eight of Cups walking within, the underlying energy of marriage, and the 20 of fire, and 10, the 31 of the thorns, and the 29 of the star, 21 of the moon, and 34 of the unity consciousness. That you are attracting emotional fulfillment with great unconditional love by letting go of emotional upheaval through the fires to embrace renewal and the present. The wake-up call destined, weathering any thorns, challenges, and chaos, which was funny because my father's nickname, I just told you, is Kos, and Kos, K-O-S, is literally chaos, for new and positive future. Through the Sirius ring of fire, as the eclipse was coming up on the 19th, and the thorny crown, to Sirius star of Bethlehem, so the hum of the star of Bethlehem and Sirius. Hard times over, looking forward to abundance of happiness, enthusiasm, and positivity, with gifts from the stars and a supernova alignment to moon and earth. And again, the eclipse. Pay attention to your intuition at this time and move ahead confidently. So the solar eclipse that happened was a rare hybrid solar eclipse, and eclipses are always known as the Ring of Fire as well as Lion's Gate, seen from West Australia and East Indonesia. It shifts from a total annular solar eclipse as the moon's shadow races over the earth. So it goes from a total eclipse to a non-total eclipse, and that's why it's considered hybrid, as the moon passes between the earth and the sun. And it was at 9:36, and 36.9 came up again today, which is the Atlas energy of the Ten of Wands, at 9:36 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on April 19th, this day. And that's when it started. And then Sirius came up as Isis, or the energy of death and rebirth, with Anubis, the jackal head, able to walk between the living and the dead. So the energies associated with Sirius can be Isis and Anubis, and 13 and 31, which is life and death, basically, of control and chaos. The portal of gods, or portal to heaven. The first week of July is the sacred gateway of energy activated. The conjunct Sun and Sirius at 14 degrees of tropical zodiac of Cancer. And from Cafe Astrology, and that was from foreverconscious.com and timeanddate.com for the eclipse. But from Cafe Astrology, April 8, 23, 10:19 a.m., which had just come up, that number, with Aries semi-squaring Saturn and Pisces. And then Venus and Pluto trining on the 11th. And I wrote down a bunch of different aspecting, but what was significant for me was the conjunction on July 1st, which is the Sun and Mercury in Cancer, and the opposition on July 10th, which is Mercury and Pluto in Cancer and Capricorn. And you can look up the aspecting yourself if you'd like. But again, 8-8 coming up here, even though we're only in April right now, the 4-4 of the Ram's Gate, I always call it, to the Lion's Gate, 8-8. And then more significantly was 8-9, which happens to be my parents' anniversary. There was 4 aspects on the 9th. And then a conjunction on August 13th between Sun and Venus at 7:15 a.m. in Leo, 28 degrees. And 28 is the twin flame energy. So at 11:37 of Justice and the King of Cups, eclipsing the crown of thorns. And the thorn bird's coming up. Hybrid ego and stardust, putting out the fire, a safe distance from the sun. As the moon takes a moment for romance, a handfasting behind the scenes of unity and gratitude. Thorns, the quantum entanglement of many risen. The roses, so again, the rose is coming up as the thorns, but rose is something that has risen already, okay? So the thorns are the quantum entanglement of the many risen, the roses entwined, being pruned or unraveling, so all have their own space to receive the sun one-to-one. The moon's cover-up of loving agreements and marriage as fingers touch and hand-holding and such. And again, referring to the eclipse. At 11:47 of Justice and Heaven in Their Eyes, the 15 of the key to the shadow for those ready to let go of the past, and the 26 of the plane, as a plane flew overhead, and then the plane card was in front of me. And again, 48 of Walking Away Within, the 26 of the Page of Wands, taking off for a journey of fulfillment, with the Page of Wands and the Queen of Wands, 24, with patience. To slow down, change your attitude, and clear your mind, and you got that before too. The key to codependence, seated in other planes of existence, the sands of time, the hourglass, the torus, the looking glass, the codex of Timex, as X marks the spot, from starseed to crowning Omega, and angel dust and stardust to the home of the feminine ego, which is Omega, the crowning moment. As the seed opens and grows from the dark soil to the light, and then patience to balance it all, the portal, the plane, and patience, 3 P's, the 3 keys for 3 P's, the threesome. 3 keys, and then are the gamma waves, the 777, which also references 3 keys is also like tree keys, and keys can also be spelled C-H-E-Z, which is home in French. So it becomes the tree house or the tree of life. To the nth degree, the burden of Re, which is a Native American tribe, and the family tree of the Lambda Leap, to 3 peas in a pod and 3's company, 3 key to 3's pod, as the key pad and the pod pad, and the lamb father leap between, the empress's home and the emperor's threesome, and the KLE, which is still the key, and the plea. To become or suit and come together with plea, adding the L at the right angle into the deal. So obviously there's a plea coming in here. At 12:07 is the Hanging Man and the Chariot, or again, the energy of the gamma ray and the boomerang. The 35 of the Wounded Warrior, and the wish as the heart's desire is ready to come true. The 16 and the Lion that speaks to you, the sudden harnessing of loyal and protective aura of the lion, to charge ahead magnificently. The lion's heart cries out, birthing after ego death in a mighty roar. With Capricorn, Sag, Leo, Scorpio, Gemini, and Libra here, as Cinderella's chariot with 4 horses, or maybe they're unicorns under wrap, is on loan to the Count. And Rapunzel, which is Ra's hallmark and arc, as he counts to 10, waiting for her to let down her hair. Perhaps he'll count to 11 with flowers and a trampoline just in case he must come up there to get her to come down. To encourage, she use her trapeze to stretch and bend a little more. Just a suggestion, of course. At 12:19, the hanging man and the sun, and then 6:11, which is the energy of the third eye, Uranus, and stellar lumen. Family or lover's urgency to see sudden flowering. The lion's heart calls out at the sweetheart, rides in with confidence. Stay strong and focused and be generous. Success and emotional fulfillment are yours. Perhaps the wounded warrior with the chariot and the lion with flowers. The chariot with 4 quarter horses and flowering compassion. At 12:25, the hanging man and the knight of wands, the underlying energy of the 2 wise birds who reap the energetic exchange in the hours of love, and the eclipse of the sun in the wise energetic exchange between the sun and the moon. And in the coffin, which is reference to the pineal gland, sharing and kneeling, threading and weaving, day and night with occupied thoughts, dreaming of each other, Leo, Pisces, and Cancer, or mother and daughter dreaming of the 39 and 38, which is the Knight of Cups and the Queen of Cups, community, and bridges to cross. The keys to freedom and alignment, letting go of chains to unify without martyrdom. The 26 of the Page of Wands and the 10 of Pentacles of Heaven on Earth, the Starseed, and Code X. So Planet X could be a 9th planet, 10 times the size of Earth beyond Pluto, and it takes Pluto 248 years to orbit once, so a planet farther out would take much, much longer. And this is in interestingengineering.com. So, and along with the energy of the proposed twin sun, right? Because most solar systems start with a twin sun, which we haven't seen. So the Oort cloud, or OORT cloud, the shell around our solar system, perhaps another star had passed through this and separated the twin sun and Planet X, or Planet 9, from our system. Or perhaps, in my perspective, the second sun comes around with Planet X only once in 1,000 years, as that song comes up, I've loved you for 1,000 years, at 12:49, the hanging man and the 9 of Cups. The sun, the earth, and the moon, the Knight of Cups, the Queen of Cups, and the unity consciousness. The 26 of the Code X, of the 10 of Pentacles, family, business, community, legacy, galaxy, or universe. And the 7 message of the boomerang, the key to the diary, the die-airy. Any, year, there and then, made, created, rejection and abandonment, the spleen and the bee. 2 created and abandoned. At 111, of the leap to justice and alignment. The first card here of the 30 of Judication, the 29 of the Ace of Swords, and the Power Lady who looked out, and the 5 of the Mature Man, perhaps the Hierophant, looking at the world, the globe, the atlas, where she is looking to the sun, he is looking to the earth. At 113, the leap to transition, the dark night of the soul. The underlying message sealed with a kiss, sent inside forever, open to reveal and reconcile, Mother Earth and Father's leap, abundance and stability. Become unity in the 7, the vehicle, the chariot, the gamma ray, the boomerang. The gamma, which is also coming up as the grandma, and the ray bouncing off each other, always coming home. The vehicle and home, the message and adjudication of her plane and his time, her channeled sight and his tunnel vision of sleight of hand and visual might, of ion connection, of adjudication, after mess of age, Judas and I, cat's connection, come and go electrically as she is drawn to see. She's drawn in to see out. So they're that electric connection, like the lightning strikes, but she's coming up as the magnetic, drawn to see out, where he's striking in. He likes waves, strikes like lightning out of nowhere. At 126, the leap to the Page of Wands and the year 26, and the dream gift presented from the stars of 16 and the Six of Cups supernova. And I went into a dream. I heard the news today, so that was coming up. The double diamond that creates a huge star. Star light, star bright. First star I see tonight, which is usually Sirius, with sudden gifts that come on board for the Six of Cups, innocence. 17 and 16 equals 33. The star and the tower that come simultaneously, unable to exist without the other. Where 35 and 36 then present the wounded warrior's path lined with transformation, an atlas of distant horizons, where she sees light at the end of the tunnel, and he sees her eyes in the horizon, both seeking water. At 133, as Spirit connects with me, to quench their thirst, to meet at the shoreline, Shutter Island and Captain Hook, and Deeply Wounded and One-Eyed Bandit. With Cancer, then Taurus, Aquarius, and Scorpio to fix Leo with Sagittarius, square with an Archer, and then stretch the envelope, half circle at a time, and target the point. The footpath and the crowning vessel, in need of a footbath and deluge, for the parting of the seas and the ways to become one again. At 141, the 41 being the Ace of Cups and the Holy Grail, the underlying energy is the golden egg, the gazelle, the lamb, the wolf, and the panther. The cobra inner teacher and the spider creator of prosperity are the teacher and the student, the creator and the web or grid, those that complement and nest the golden egg. The graceful gazelle, the sweet little lamb, the leader of the pack wolf or gal wolf, all at full attention to what comes next. And next was coming up in one of the other reads I did. As the wolf no longer, and next literally is the crucifixion on the cross. Literally, next is like, killing someone, and then T is the cross. It was Jesus on the cross coming off of Easter. So the graceful gazelle and sweet little lamb, referencing Jesus and Mary Magdalene on the cross, the leader of the pack wolf or gal wolf, all at full attention to what comes next, as the wolf no longer blows houses down, but the black panther now causes alarm, and yet all remain calm, untriggered, as panther is trigger happy. Or panther had to yell to get their attention, with their heads all in the clouds and pushing the envelope. At 153 is the Knight of Swords and the curious otter watching the tiger approach, the scared rabbit. Or panther and tiger are out with the otter and bunny or kids, where no one messes with their little ones. As hearts and hands message across the sky, the otter is tempted by apple pie, and the tiger responds, "Don't test me," as the bunny watches the hawk swoop in, clearing the way or the brush, to get the turtle and mouse out of the dark. As the tiger's on the ground, the hawk in the air, partners in crime in a search effort to find little ones and rescue them or taking them in at 1:59. The leap to the 11th hour, and again, rescuing children. The underlying energy next of dogs getting together with friends. Beetle with good fortune. But weeping willow. The family with sorrow. And again, beetle, as in Beetlejuice, was coming up there. So it's like coming up as like Bella with good fortune, but beetle with family sorrow. The birds of happiness and sunshine, the apple of their eye. The dogs and curious otters wondering what it would be like to fly, because they're seeing the others fly. At 2:02, the underlying energy in the spring becomes the rose, where romance is in the air. April's showers bring May flowers. But this year is April showers and May brings more flowers, tugging on purse strings with fiery emotions for good or for bad, as the sun shines of happiness and well-being in a chain of events that will affect your life, as the caterpillar will not always be that way. Change is a-comin' as the clouds roll by, only temporary, so no problem. At 2:06, the divine feminine and the lovers, or higher selves. The torch of awareness, of enlightenment and understanding, or is that an inner child, or ice cream, chocolate cone, perhaps soft serve, like a soft serve looks like a flame in a torch. Or is that a soft serve in a spiral wave? Or apple of your eye, with a ring and a marriage to take place, ring around the rosy, and dagger of fear, worries, and tense situation, with dungeons and dragons, torches and daggers, wands and swords, passions mixed with thought, circling in your mind, battling the clouds that roll by. At 2:11 are two cards of rat and hand, a rat in your midst, in need of help, assistance, guidance, or a hand, perhaps making it bigger than it actually is. Bye, baby. Have a great night. And maybe someone's making it bigger than it is, and it's not a rat, but it's only a mouse, or the mouse is the one who needs a hand due to the new rat in town. So then we have the half deck from 2:14 to 15. I added this in. And 14 and 15 is the angel and the devil, but it also came up at 2:14, which is Valentine's Day. So the underlying energy here was circling in the head, the Knight of Cups offering love or kindness to temptation, Capricorn, or one raising their hand, that would make the Knight of Cups a rat, working against you behind your back. Or the Knight of Cups stressed, seeing codependent nightmare, and trying to make the devil or Capricorn, or one asking for help, happy. As 4 nines surround the Knight of Cups and the devil, with 9 of Cups, 9 of Pentacles, and 9 of Wands, 2 independent and happy, but the wounded warriors on guard, with Hermit to back them up or shed light, advice, or having to take a look. Or will this ever end? As the Page of Wands is inspired by the 6 of Cups soulmates, or bestie, or sibling, coming to help or traveling in from out of town, for the Knight of Pentacles proposing to partner, or have a one-to-one with the High Priestess, and the Queen of Pentacles, or after traveling with Sister, or Cancer and Pisces connect for a reading, or just one-on-one time together. With the Page of Cups, or puppy love, the Queen of Swords shares their affections with the world or neighbor or twin flame King of Swords, or Gemini and Pisces, or communicate of the Sun and Mother Earth. As the Queen of Swords and King of Swords, and sorry, the lawnmowers are going on outside, the Queen of Swords and King of Swords come together, her love, his passions, and coming full circle in the middle, with the world, divine feminine, the neighbors, or Pisces, or fish, or legal teams come together, a lot of Gemini here, perhaps 2, or Pisces and Virgo, and the Page of Swords Libra, or judge and jury with lawyers here. The Queen of Wands with Emperor or Queen of Wands Aries are surrounded by powerful men, as the Emperor with an invite or opportunity for 3 kings, or my 3 sons, the King of Cups, King of Wands, and King of Pentacles, and maybe leaving the Queen of Wands out of it, which could be a sister. And that could be, you know, parents or father treating their sons different than their daughter. That could also be someone who's not doing work, because that idea was coming up too, right? If they don't do the work, they don't get the benefit. There could be a Queen of Wands having an affair between a father and son, or business leader and legal or government official. Or the Emperor's including 3 sons or business partners, but not the daughter or female partner. Perhaps they're not getting a cut. At 241, the Ace of Cups, the King of Pentacles with lots of back and forth, or arrows of love, messaging, traveling, and triggering, or happiness and clouds to get where he is today. So looking back at everything it took for him to get to where he is. At 243, the feminine or higher self and the coming together here in joy is the Empress sitting pretty or set as the Knight of Wands rushes in. The Fool is now free to hang out with loyal friend, or Aries always on the ground running to them and bringing sunshine with them. There are 3 cards at the end, and again, on the ground running or hit the ground running. Both of those energies keep coming up the past couple days. 3 cards here at the end with Death, Dark Night, Transformation, or clearing up the mess as the Queen of Cups and the Knight of Swords come in. As the Queen of Cups to the Knight of Swords come in with the fact, well, all done. They're coming in with the message that everything's all done. But this also can be coming up as last rites message rushing in, right? So the energy that someone who does last rites has to be on call, because they never know when someone might pass and need last rites. The key to adjudicate apples and oranges, ice cream and lemons, and which doesn't belong here. Obviously 3 are fruits and 1 is ice cream. A 5-membered ring to dissolve polarity, for better or worse, or suitors coming in to sweep you off your feet, as the King of Pentacles and the Empress could be very fixed Taurus energies, but the Knight of Wands is Sagittarius, and the Fool Aries being pulled in to show otherwise. One longing for romance and the other adventure and risk, on the ground running or on the cliff diving. As death becomes her, as dark night on white horse, the grim reaper comes a-callin', come in a callin' to carry them home, or an arrest, or a rest, or 2 knights fighting over the Queen of Cups as she listens to her heart, or Scorpio bringing or bowling right over those who would get in their way, having had enough, or the Queen of Cups seeking asylum or safety from a crazy person, or being chased by the law, or an air sign to the edge. Or King of Pentacles is Taurus, and Knight of Wands Aries, and the Queen of Cups Scorpio, with the Knight of Swords either defending them to the death or stabbing them in the back at 301 with the Empress and the Magician, with space between. Or the King of Pentacles and the Empress are pulling in favors, could be unscrupulous here. Perhaps one's in need of help, either the Knight of Swords or the Devil or Capricorn may be codependent, and Scorpion may be the rat, or is Scorpio ratting the Knight of Swords out for working against the Queen of Cups behind their back. All right, so then I did a little scribbling to see what messages were coming up. And the dragon, weddings, miasm was coming up as well. An unhealthy atmosphere or vapor, which also means Eden. And ship, disarming. The name Blesnak was coming up for me, which is actually a friend. John's road or path. Valnek came up. And the end, like at the end of a story or book, the end. As well as Jake, Sullivan, Stone or Storm. Teddy Bear, Patty Cakes, and Baker's Man were all coming up randomly. And then we have the read from the 20th, which starts with the journey of love, and then my tea leaves, and then my combined deck of Lenormand, Reverie, and Kipper, my animal guidebook, The Wild Unknown, and then the half deck at the bottom of Rider-Waite. So just a little closer up so you can see them. Okay. So this is from the 20th, pulled 917 through 922, which is the 17 of the star, and the 22 of the Fool. So we have the star, the moon, the sun, the world, and then the Fool ready to take their leap of faith. The cards at the end of each pile came out as 111112, and then all twos, 6 twos. So the energy again of when you're counting and you write 4 lines down and then 1 across for the 5th number, that was coming up with the Queen and the 2. May 14th was coming up. Perhaps the 12th as well. The twin flames, divine feminine and masculine. To the 6th, which can be the Queen's spiral as well. 1111 and 1212 were both coming up here, which in gematria were Beverly, Scarecrow, and Awareness. So Beverly, Wilshire, and Hills were coming up, with Scarecrow, Wizard, and Oz were coming up, with Awareness, Knowing, and Ascension, and the Twin Flames were coming up. The 4th entry was Weinberg, Schneck, and then Power of God. Trusted My Heart. And I don't know what I wrote for the number 7, but you can look that up. It was the I looked up 1111 and 1212. Oh, Juicy. So number 7 is Juicy. 8 is God Is With Me. And then Gypsy Rose Lee, Jose Mourinho, and then High Power, God's Rapture, Holy Jean, and again the Jean, the 24th pair. The 13th was It All Points to the 13th. And then 14 was I Hope Someone Understands the Message. 15 is Almighty God Is Getting Married. We also had Snowflakes, Androgynous Goddess. 13, instead of 11s, it was L, Evens. 18 was Head Wound. 19 was Behold Her E. So this was interesting too, because I always talk about the capital E. And literally in gematria, they had the capital E as a separate word. Behold Her E, which E is 1 equal and congruent to, comes the Sun, the chosen one. And as you know, 1111, I've brought this up many times before, the first entry is Twin Flames, then Alex Jones, New Age Begins, and then I Am Code 11 times, and a letter to you. 111112 came up as freeze, so I tried to open that and it kept freezing multiple times, which it never does. So there's that hell freezes over in January to February again. So it's mostly January, but the very first day of February perhaps. And finally, there was no entry with that. And then 6 twos, or 5 twos rather. it said read Ezekiel 12 verses 27, 28 times 3. So it was just, that was the gematria written 3 times. And then it ended though with CA. So I looked up Ezekiel 12, 27 and 28, which is the Son of Man. The Israelites are saying, the vision he sees is for many years from now. He prophesies about the distant future. Therefore say no to them. This is what the sovereign Lord says. None of my words will be delayed any longer. Whatever I say will be fulfilled, declares the sovereign Lord. And 12, it says there, 12 equals the exile symbolized. So again, my coding came up again because we have 11, 12, 13 coming up together, and then 26, 27, and 28. The 1 equal and congruent to 3 leaps, to conceive and leap, which then becomes equal and congruent to 1 again. So coming back to again to the other side. And here again comes up the 5 and the 2 and the 5 and the 2, which are 2 things, which is also S and the 2, right? So S reflected and 5 reflected as 2 in block. And again, written twice is 25 inside of 52, which is the Knight of Wands inside of the Queen of Swords, right? He is the flame inside of her, Lady Liberty, right? As she holds the flame above her head. He lights the flame from within her. And it was coming up as the 27, 20, 26, 27, 28. Remember, 2 looks like a Q. When you write Q fast, it looks like a 2. Comes as Q spiral, Q boomerang, and then a Q8, which is much bigger and holier than 2 dots of the colon, which is the line without the arc between them. The 52 is also S and Q, which is an abbreviation for the square. The Queen of Swords, Lady Liberty, and the 25, the Knight of Wands. Again, the 19 and 26 and 19, which is the Lion's Heart, the Page of Wands, and the Sun. And the Purge. Lady and the Tramp, that she with he in her dog, who can be God if he so chooses. The SQ is the square, and God help me. And, oh God. But her, so she is with he, right? The word she has he in it, is in her. And then dog is God reversed, who can be God if he so chooses, and reflect. Hers was, she is with he, and as, EHS, he's, if she so chooses. So she can say, and pass, right? Or he can be God if he so chooses. Or again, realize that he's a piece of God. So the squares coming up as SQ is Sophia, the queen that you are. And that's literally square, SQUARE. Sophia, queen, you are. God help me, and then, oh God. And then Godspell came up with, oh God, I'm bleeding. And so the circle comes up. Christ I am. Are the claw, the hoof, the horny toe or nail. Possession, control, and clutches. The key, the left, the water, the music, the clef, the wrench. Continuing legal education. So Christ I am, or I are, as I am Christ, JC, and Mary Magdalene. The key, the claw, that which clutches, to shift left to water, clefs and keys, which reference music, multiple octaves of tones and memories. So again, remember, a sound and a smell can trigger many memories of the square and the circle and the square, and which fits in what and where. So at 1013 is the destiny of the 13 of transition of the square and the square being her and the circle being him. She as the 52 you are, the Queen of Swords, And remember, if you put the 5 and 2 together as block lettering, it becomes the TV screen or a signpost. And SZ equals numbers, Z's, or centuries. As the Queen of Swords, I am to be. Whereas UA in square is an astronomical unit. Unité astronomique. So there's the unity in there again. But it also means nothing, I am and I was. The vain and the reign and to reign. The aforementioned. The grandson, grandchild, and descendant. And one. The two great present tense. The flower to kill, not and to go. And then the RE of reference. The re, as in do, re, mi. Resounding, the 3 of the number 3, to make, humid, move, flow, boil, mist, to release, to pour, push, shove, cloud, gloom, reason, count, judgment, attention, care, consideration, young and new, and REI, which is to fall and strike, the ray, too much, pair, couple, they, double raise, the D tone, she, he, king, magnet, and reality, look. And circumpositions, and there's that reference within the square to the circle. Okay? So she, because we're defining the square right now, has circumpositions to say, to prepare, or make a bed. The I and the R vary, and the I that you see with, to be, to roast and soak and become swollen, to exceed, pass, skim off the top or liquid, to alter something by supernatural or authoritative means, to trigger or put a curse or spell on someone, to undergo a hit, dislocate, or mid-tone. So in the sine wave of the Queen, or conception of the leap, the Queen of Swords is the descendant 1, 2, and 3 as she marks the present moment. Double raised pair, unité astronomique, that positions around its complement. The Queen of Swords reigns and flowers, is and was, the vein that mists and releases, reasons and counts, as we talked about the masculine being the count coming to get Rapunzel before, and cares for after the fall or strike, and is willing to become swollen to carry and bring them home again. And then that also references birthing the lineage. The circle, however, as the masculine, is the ark and the Christ consciousness, the IR or I divine masculine, the spine and the housing, reaching out to the ark, the right angle of 1 equal and congruent to the lambda leap to E, which references Eve of the divine feminine, 1 equal and congruent to. He's also Sir Key, with horny toes or toenails, to arc and leap in reaching out with claw, the talon, Christ's law, or tail that's on or activated, and again the Kundalini. So E comes up with 11, 12, 13, 3 leaps, and 26, 27, 28 as the Queen's spiral, the Queen's boomerang, and the Queen's dance. First she spirals within the rose heart, then learns to boomerang in order to get back, setting the 8 dance in motion, a new pattern and resonance to link from to crazy 8s, raised to a third, which notice the 8 and the 3 coming in again of the 38, with triple 8s being the 24 of the Queen of Wands and Omega, and enlightenment. Where JC's light intent is Jesus, which is Zeus or Jupiter, and the C being the Christed aspect of Capricorn and Cancer, Saturn and the Moon, and the rings of Saturn, which is referencing the feminine. So he being Zeus, and she being the Christed aspect, right? Where he's the ego and she is the Christed aspect of himself, of Calypso and Atlas coming up, perhaps Saturn's moons. The toroidal field with direction, Jupiter and Saturn, sun's rays and moon's rings, as he projects and she circles around, like the arteries and the veins. He projects and then she circles back around with the veins to bring the blood back to the heart, but she uses valves to assist her, the vacuum tube, the trap door, the double door, and the airlock, the guard, the watch, one way, and awareness, to wind around, to turn. And again, planet C was coming up here, which is a Japanese Venus orbiter that was launched on May 20th in 2010. So he is Zeus, she's his Christed aspect, set into motion through spiral and boomerang infinitely. Q7 is the concept of gamma, the happy mother connection. Quarter 7, or 2-7, the flame of Lady Liberty. After the 4 of the lambda leap and the 5 of the sine wave and the 6 of the spiral in 2 boomerang directions, the 7 infinitely to the 8 and 9 which come in together in the 698 pod of compassion and gratitude for one and all. The C and the G of the whispering bench spiraling inward, folding in upon itself, coming up as the God within Christ, or in the Christed aspect, the feminine aspect of the masculine, which is them, because they're connected. So, right, the masculine represents the ego, the feminine represents his Christed aspect, and then she represents that which can hold the God aspect, okay? So at 11:11 is the underlying energy of the 46, just for a moment joy, and 15 of appreciation, happiness, and flowers, the suns, the birds, and the flowers, and the black egg. The Queen of Wands, 24, which also represents Omega, and 24 also represents the Pleiades and the groups of families that created us. The 6 of Cups, inner child, with their arms up and their light in, unafraid, appreciating even your shadow side, the back of you, when you're facing the sun, when you can't see due to blocks. Happiness in sunshine, birds, and flowers, the truth of the black egg, or the sheep, and the Queen of Wands. The ego outside, the inner child's truth, and allowing your inner child to come out to play. Healing the root to flower the crown, getting to the heart of the matter to get to the truth of the shadow blues, indigo, and violets. A black light that illuminates white, the ring around the purple moon, the ship in the ethers, sharp cutting ash, starlight, star bright, first star I see tonight. Seriously, with Capricorn and Cancer, Saturn and moon rings, circles around as Jupiter and Mercury, Saggy and Gemini, with endless optimism as town criers, Virgo and so bringing up the town criers of Saggy and Gemini, as Virgo Mercury elevates to Neptune of Pisces of dreams and veils of illusion to the other side, as the goat climbs and the crab hides between the side shuffling, dancing around the mountain issue, the archer bridges twins as the virgin purifies dreams, with the archer and twins rainbow beneath their wings. The lovers, the dreamers, and me, and of course that's Kermit. The frog that seeks great transformation from start to finish, Pluto, where Aries seeks Libra to balance, Venus to Mars, and Scorpio, of course, seeking Leo counsel to lead, and Aquarius group to understand that laughter is, of course, the best medicine, bringing out Leo's inner child when everyone needs it most, at 11:37 of justice and unconditional love of the King of Cups. For fire ignites us, but also burns into ashes and dust for earth to ground and feel safe, as an airy breeze rolls by to stir up emotions of thirst for water to nourish, inspiring once again. At 11:39, the justice of the Knight of Cups and the underlying energy of the 4, and again the lambda leap the simplicity of the black and white, of Lambda, the black sheep and the father, the emperor and their inner child. 24 of the Queen of Wands Omega, of the 2 and the 4, which are the spaces between the words, and 2D and 4D. To the 6 of the spiraling lovers in Gemini, and the angel of Jupiter awaken, which is the valve. Saggy, Archer, valve, and airlock that gives that extra push and pep to get you through to the other side. The 67 of the Knight of Pentacles Swan, the loyal humble servant Virgo, to 46 Pisces, just for a moment joy of the moment, mother and child, and 1148 of alignment with walking away within, to the 15 where the mother prays in the dark, worried in fear of the 63 twins suffering in silence in the middle of the bridge, unprotected in a light storm, codependent, and that can reference having sex, under unprotected sex, codependent causing them to stress when mother's not around. So that's the codependency, right? That you can't live without me. The 69 of the contemplation of offering a new way, and the 17 of her grace, the 3 of the burning hero, and the star and mother's son, extending grace to undo the burning. As Lady Liberty reaches out to mother and the sun, earth and fire extending a cool hand to melt for some water or emotion to ground them in. So cool hand Luke, and I want to show you the 2 pictures of that deck too, because it was so cool the way those 2 cards came together. See if I can find them. That was her grace reaching out to him, burning. I know which 2 cards it is. Let's see if I can get to them. Her grace and his burning. Okay, here they are. So this is the way these 2 cards were sitting, literally. So you see how her hand, literally her grace, reaches out to him, burning outside the vortex, right, in the ring of fire, in the cyclone. I love that. So just taking those energies. So at 1157 of the 3 of Swords of separation and aligning there to heal with cool hand Luke, as she's in the blues and purples and he's in the lower chakra energies of reds, oranges, and yellows. And the 24 where Jesus has risen, told to the 11 and all the others, Mary Magdalene, Joanna, and Mary, mother of James, and the others to the apostles who don't believe, as Jesus appears to the women and Simon and breaks bread. And that came up from Luke 24. So again, the 11, 12, 13 come up as the alignment of JC and Mary Magdalene, and the 26, 27, 28 were coming up as the parts of Luke 24. And did not Messiah have to suffer and then enter his glory? Right? And again, this is extending the urgency of faith needed. Right? Did you not trust that you just need to walk through the fire to get to this glory? Going on to explain Moses, prophets, and what the scriptures said about him, and as approached the village, Jesus continued on as if going further. And that's where 28 stops, but then of course they called him back. So at 12:12, the 2 hanging out, seeing new perspectives and being wise, the underlying energy of the 50 and the angel of strength, the lion and the beast, the 9 of the broken heart, and the 3 of the blossoming abundance, where the 10 of cups is the family fulfillment of the angel and the ego, of the hermit's broken heart, the one and the all, with Mother Nature, and the 42 of the 2 of cups and the woman with the coin, and the 49 of getting your wish, the angel of love, between strong angelic mother and sweetheart, the hermit and empress partnership, using nature to heal the heart, and the woman with the coin peeking in 1-to-1 to the angel of love, the angel of balance, and then the devil and having appreciation for the polarity of the angelic sides and the shadowy sides in order to be able to see the contrast, and this was at 12:21, and therefore appreciate the flowers, even when unable to resist picking them. So at 12:23 is the 40 of the Page of Cups and the 6th chakra Archangel Metatron. And the AA is like curved AA, again holding hands and bridging across the top of the A's. The Page of Cups and power in their innocence, which this card, has this great energy of Metatron. The 25 of the Knight of Wands of deceit, and the 44 of the Four of Cups and Hercules, her harvest, and the woman holding a heart. The Page of Cups, sweetheart, and the Knight of Wands, player, playing their hand, with her harvest, her heart, while the mother is still seeing them as their sweet little boy, protecting them from the storm. And again, the codependent relationship that, like, my child can do no wrong, and you're not helping them by causing that to continue. And it's 4:14 on the clock, and that number came up the other day twice. So you can look that up too if you want. So 32 and 19, the journeyman and the sun, and the door to spirit and rest and rejuvenation as she lends her grace to purify his spirit as he meditates. At 12:31, the hanging man and the chaos of the group, or the pursuit of happiness, after the arrow and the archway on the right path. So it's like the arrow and the archer on the right path, the frying pan with accusations, and dogs getting together with friends. The beetle with good fortune and weeping willow with family sorrow, and again happiness though overall. Right, so there could be a little few things, your kids are mad at you about a little something, or your dog's mad at you about a little something, but overall everything's good. The ladder in February with candle came up, climbing as the wind blows. The candle shows the way. And then Marilyn Monroe came up, and she was born 6/1/1926, Norma Jean Mortensen, and her mother was Gladys Pearl Baker. So the apple of temptation comes up to test you and the knot and unsuccessful plans here. The throne and grapes, the authority to go out and have fun, with the tent and teardrops, a temporary situation of great personal sorrow. The skull of hidden secrets that can harm you, the secrets, not the skull, and the flag to do not be tempted to lower your standards as you enter bluebirds and happiness. The stork, of course, brings news of birth, and the table references hard work ahead. The sunrise, new ideas and a fresh start, with rainbows and unicorns, as the worst now is over at 1:25, the leap to that Knight of Wands. So use your intention to make beneficial changes. In the Garden of Eden, where the knot was broken, but somewhere over the rainbow, dreams come true. At 1:27, the underlying energy with the flame and the new inspiration is the cobra, the bee, the wolf, the star, the tarantula, and the black egg. The teacher here, as the bee pays attention, the wolf is stunned by, perhaps they got stung by the bee, but the wolf is stunned by the star and the tarantula at the crossroads about the black sheep, truth be said, of the carpenter student with a crush on the teacher, at the intersection of the truth and viability. At 1:34, where the nightingale sings a sweet song to the egg, perhaps a small child is waiting for their little sibling to be born. As the tiger comes between the nightingale and the bunny, or humbles them, and Pulp Fiction came up with the diner, right? So the two young people who are just bored and robbing a diner are then humbled by the really evil one, who shows them they're just kids playing games and they shouldn't be doing that. Kids out having some fun, being sneaky, or trying to take the robin's egg, when the tiger comes in about how the meek inherit the earth and all that, and then grabs their full attention and looking for ways out. As the hawk clears right and the hummingbird left, and rabbit is paralyzed by fear, unable, and then it's reminding me of when she pees because he scares the crap out of her. Unable to outrun a tiger, the bunny, when angels and birds can fly and they can't. The mother and child and the stork's delivery, and was it a dud? At 144, the underlying energy is the Queen of Swords who speaks to the Queen of Cups in the Knight of Swords, or gathering around the Queen of Cups, regarding the King of Cups and Page of Cups in Dark Knight delivery, or Scorpio child connects with the Knight of Wands, or the King of Swords Gemini or Virgo sends in the cavalry and or the magician's assistant, or matchmaker, page to page, knight to knight, king to queen, and it sounds like a chess match, or the King of Swords magician is stepping up to swing or handle a message from the world. Divine Feminine, Pisces, or neighbor, or magician matching their DNA wand to one with two wands and marching to the beat of their own drum. Natural and protected, with no tools at all, with choice of path, and that can be too someone who's postmenopausal because they don't need protection anymore, with a choice of path in any direction, as the Page of Wands inspired or excited by lover or soulmate of the King of Wands or father, and Capricorn, Capricorn King of Pentacles or brother, that could be, or the devil who's between the King of Pentacles and the Nine of Pentacles, which could be their independent child or their partner who's younger than them, or codependent relationship here, as the Knight of Cups loves the Hermit or High Priestess with light, or the old man and their sister, or Virgo and Pisces, mother and daughter, perhaps a lot of Capricorn in there as well, or trusted confidant, happy with themselves and getting justice, or with Libra or judges concerned, or stressed out about the Emperor's invite or opportunity offered to the Queen of Wands, or Libra and Aries, redcoats, stressing about the Page of Pentacles student and the Queen of Wands, and again that could be a teacher, but a female teacher with their student, and getting in trouble with the redcoats here. And at 2 p.m., double zeros of source energy backing up the 2 of the feminine and the wounded warrior between the Queen of Wands and the Emperor. And mad at the Queen of Wands, defending the Empress's position. Don't mess with a pregnant woman or a mother around her babies. With Saggy or wounded warrior, Knight of Wands reversed may be an issue here for the Page of Cups, innocent. Or mother sees the Knight of Wands as a tramp who's trying to taint her pure little son or daughter, or again could be seen as a bad influence or influencer. Or watching 50 First Dates perhaps, where the bunny is the otter in the road in a bold move of confidence as the Knight of Pentacles makes a practical offer to the Fool, freeing them with loyal friend, with Sagittarius, Cancer, and Aries here, as the tables are turned and now working on February timelines, or May to June pregnancy, or birth of something new, with lots of extending of hands here to give a lift up to one who really needs it, or perhaps a rest or breath of fresh air. It's about the birds and the bees and the flowers and the trees, as hearts are set free, as we end here at 2:14, which is Valentine's Day. So there's definitely hell's freezing over January to February. That's all I got to say. So I'm going to leave it there, and I'll save the read from today for tomorrow because I'm getting a little tired here. So let me just pull a closing card for you. We'll pull something from the energy deck. And remember, there's two dark, a man and a woman here, and the money path. The path with money is watching for you to find it. And that could be each other. But it looks like you're getting your wish with love here. And the Fool taking a leap of faith. So here, from the energy deck, what is the final message? Closing remarks. Closing remarks The man holding his heart. The 45 of the purge, that's the 5 of cups. So, you know, dealing with loss, regret, guilt and shame, or getting over that energy, or getting over oneself, right? For the angel of strength, right? Who has the emotionally, this the 50 is not just her emotional fulfillment, but the 10 of cups is about the emotional fulfillment of the entire family, right? The matriarch, the tower of strength with angel wings, but also strong like the beast. And this is someone grieving them kind of energy. We also have the separation of the 9 and the hermit, and that could be Virgo energies as well. But that can be the 1 and the all, the 9, again, healing the separation, healing the broken heart of time is what I'm getting. And again, this very much represents the masculine and the feminine, and bringing the two sides, the two pages back together, and the underlying energy of the world, and taking a step back to see the larger perspective. The 29 of the 3 of Wands, being present in the moment to your gifts, and just being in the moment. After having been on the journey for so long, right? Having your bags packed, waiting in the middle of the bridge, in which direction to go. But is she looking back? And it should be looking forward this way. To take a step back as you get a message from off planet that gives you a new perspective on things. And that'll come up today. So watch Elena's video so you'll get what I'm talking about when I bring it up tomorrow in the read from today, which I'll bring up with tomorrow's read if I do another read tomorrow. Okay, guys, rise and be loved, love and rise. Remember to breathe. Breathe.